Okay, thank you. Okay, good morning. I'm calling to order the Connecticut State Advisory Council for Special Education Executive Committee meeting on Wednesday, January 8th at 10:05 a.m. My name is Susan Yankee. I'm a chair and a parent member. Is there anyone here for public comment? And who handles that? Who gets the call-ins for that? I can't hear you, Christine. Go ahead.
We would get the call-ins for that, and I don't believe we have anybody right now calling in, so
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so consent agenda. So we have to do a little housekeeping on the agenda. We need to move the minutes. Oh, we don't have the minutes, right?
yeah, so it's up to you. So right now Jolie she's helping him out with that because this was one of those transition pieces. So she right now is gonna try to forward us those minutes by the end of the meeting. So if we could move that, or if you'd like to do something different, Susan, just let me know.
So I'd rather vote to move the minutes to a later meeting so that we can all have a moment to look at them, if that's possible. Everyone okay with that?
Like to do
Okay,
something
I'm
so
okay
different,
with that.
Susan?
great. So we need to put the approval, it goes under consent agenda. So I would like to, would someone like to make a motion to move the minutes from November 7th, 2024 to our next meeting for approval?
I'll make a motion to move the minutes.
Catherine makes the motion. Anyone second? Great. Anyone abstain? Great. All approve? Wonderful. We are moving the November 7th, 2024 meeting minutes to our next meeting. Wonderful. That was easy. Okay. So would you like to do committee matters first because it's on here, or let's just go to executive matters? And then we'll move on to committees. Do we need to make a motion to change that? Okay, we're not going to make a motion. We'll just squish it into executive matters. All right, so annual report. We just got off finishing it. We're just waiting on, Jeff's going to check a law. And we're waiting on and then the final draft for a quick approval, double check, and for it to be disseminated. So how will it be disseminated? Because it cannot come from me because Gmail gets kicked out. And so then CSDE had sent it, but Brian, you said Circ is going to send it out? Yep, he must be busy. So do you guys, Christine, Holly, do you have the list? Oh, Brian, hey,
Dude,
there you go.
Yeah, we'll take care of that, Susan. We'll copy
Awesome.
you on. We'll copy you on the email.
Wonderful. Yeah, because you know exactly where it's supposed to go. Okay, great. Okay, so I would love to just quickly talk about a new plan for next year. So it would be, if anyone can come up with a better way to do this report, if we need the SAC priority and recommendations, I was thinking after each full SAC meeting, when we bring those up, if those are then discussed quickly and clarified at our executive committee meetings, and we have some sort of rolling document, then when we get to the end of the year, it should be just cutting and pasting and clarifying. I don't know
I
what.
like I like that idea because again, the document we work of always has a date and time stamp on it. So if we ever wonder, and when did we write this? We'll know that it was a result of the previous SAC meeting. So yeah, I like that.
Okay. And Christine and Holly, is there any way that one of you takes down what our priorities and recommendations are in the meeting, and then the other person does the minutes, or are you guys are you guys switching off? How does that work?
So what we do is if we're both in attendance, we can work it out with each other so we could switch off responsibilities. If one of us is busy in a training or in a session, then one person will be there and we'll try to do what we can with that. But if you have both of us, we'll divide the responsibilities.
Great, because sometimes priorities pop up in just our roundtable. So any committee members, if we're in our full SAC meeting and like that's an unmet need, we should kind of discuss that at our executive committee meeting. Would you jump in and say we should put that in our priorities and recommendations, like thought package or whatever? If that's such a word, I made that up. Okay, great. Okay, those are no, okay, I'm writing all my notes. Okay, next, discuss Social Security Administration information. Did everybody get that email I sent? Someone from the Social Security Administration reached out to Catherine and myself about information for Social Security for persons. They're doing it sounds like they're doing
Okay, right.
an awareness push for persons with disabilities. And I was thinking that they wanted to present at our meeting, but I was thinking this was not really a presentation, but more of a shared information document that Jennifer would send out. Anyone thoughts?
I like that idea, unless anyone feels like we should have a presentation.
You know, I don't think we need a I don't think
No, I think
don't-
if we get the shared document, I think that's fine.
Yeah, okay. I'm writing this down. Document SAA to Jen. I'll connect her with him. Okay, agenda planning for the for Friday, SAC's January 15th virtual meeting. Oh, I wanted you to just peek, you know how when you send out the agenda for the full SAC, at the bottom it has the calendar. For some reason, the last calendar I got, it said that January 15th was a 10 to 2 to be determined meeting. It's correct on the website, the regular website, but not that attachment. Do you understand where I'm pointing out? This thing.
Yeah, so, I think Jolie did the last one, so I'd have to check with her on that.
Okay.
So just for clarification, so you do want that in the agenda on the full council for the 15th, correct?
No.
You're not. Okay.
No, that's just something. Oh, you mean the calendar? Yeah. That doesn't that
Okay.
usually come at the end of our agendas for the full council? Yeah, I
yeah,
just need
leave
it
it then.
corrected. Yeah,
Oh, you just need it. Okay, there was a typo in it that just needs corrected.
yeah, it said that the 15th was 10 to 2 TBD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you'll also be able to throw in when we have the places, you can also put that in instead of TBD, and that would be super helpful.
Awesome. Made a note of it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Welcome.
Um, okay, I'd love to get the agenda out and finalized by this Friday, include minutes and like the correct link again, because we changed all the links to CERC if that's possible. So did you find that agenda in the shared drive? Sorry, I'm talking to Christine and Holly. Did you find the template for the agenda?
So right now, because we're having issues getting into the shared drive at CERC,
no.
so we're going back and forth with Jolie through email. That's what happened even with the minutes. So we'll work on it. But we're gonna do the best we can on that one.
Yeah.
We're working on the access piece. We're gonna actually, go ahead, Holly, but we're gonna talk to IT even in our at CERC. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can work off an old one.
That's what we're trying to do, but without having internet access to it to grab it, we have to get it from Jolie first. If we don't
Okay.
already have it through our work so far.
Okay, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Holly?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I'm talking to IT on Friday, but Christine hit that point. So I'll have more information on how we could utilize Teams in the OneDrive a little bit better so we have it instantly.
Great.
We're getting
Right.
into this place where sometimes we get access and then sometimes it blocks us, won't give us access, so we might have to request it again. So it's kind of like a back and forth right now.
Okay.
I just think it's miscommunicating between external and internal.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So the best you can do would be whatever you guys can do. We just appreciate that.
Absolutely, we're
Um,
gonna try our best. Absolutely,
Yeah,
Susan.
I know you always do. I really appreciate that. And okay. All right. So the agenda? We're gonna talk about, I assume, the legislative breakfast, right?
Can I ask a question? Are we having a full council meeting on the 15th?
Yes.
Okay, because like I had mentioned to Holly that I was getting all these bombarded invites and cancellations, stuff like that, so so we are having next week, a week from today on the 15th. Virtual.
Right,
full coun-
right. That's why I was hoping that we could send this out. Maybe I'm being optimistic by Friday. So that has the corrected link once again in it, that we're having the meeting and that it's virtual.
And that's at 9 AM.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't have the corrected one in front of me. I have the,
Okay, yeah,
the-
Yeah,
I was getting.
I have-
confused, yeah.
Sorry, I have 9 to 10:30 on my calendar.
okay, great.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, great.
Okay, so
Thanks, guys.
great. We need you there, Jeff, because you're our legislative guy.
Well, we haven't started yet. We're having our next legislative meeting on the day after the 16th, so.
Okay. Okay, great. So we need to go over the legislative breakfast on the agenda, review that. Hopefully in the flyer can be shared with the full SAC. Hi, Jennifer. The flyer can be, shared with the full SAC. Great. So we need the flyer shared. And we will also need to put on it, and this will come under my executive committee update. Is that correct? Then we also need to I need to probably mention the special education task force, because we should have the final draft by then. And then what's the third thing? We did the legislative breakfast, the flyer. Oh, our annual report. So Brian, do you want to do an overview of the annual report at that meeting? Like,
It's totally up to you, Susan. If you want to do that, you're welcome to. Depending on when it's finalized, so it's due on that day.
mhm.
So in the past, we've created some slides around it for you in
Yeah.
executive, or just spoke to it and just thanks various individuals for contributing to it, things of that nature. So I unfortunately I may not be at the meeting because this is one of those months where the State Board of Ed meeting falls not on the first Wednesday but the second Wednesday.
Right.
I'm thinking because of the holiday, so we'll have to work that out too, because that poses conflict for Matt as well. I don't want to speak for Matt, but unfortunately, we have an overlap now with the State Board of Ed meeting starting right at the same time that the advisory council meeting starts.
Okay. Well, all right. Okay.
Something we can definitely work through for sure, but I know it's a shorter meeting for the advisory council, but those are just some logistics we'll have to work out. I do have to be at the state board meeting in present, so at the very best, I would be able to listen in, for portions of the meeting.
Okay. Okay. So will you not be presenting? Will anything be presented at our meeting from CSDE, since you won't be available?
Well, it's we can talk through that. We don't have any presentations for the short meetings.
Okay.
So there's we did the SPPA PR last meeting, shared information around that. Typically, Sean will be present unless other circumstances arise that we're unaware of. But Sean would be present and be able to share any updates from the bureau if we wanted to do a bureau update as part of the time. The 90 minutes are tricky because it's so it kind of goes by quickly once the old business is done and the subcommittees present out. It doesn't leave a whole lot of time. But from our perspective, we don't have any formal presentations scheduled for that time. We could certainly give updates, and it might be nice to do. We just had an overview training of the legislative session as a department, and so just sharing some kind of high level information about this is a long session. It starts on January 8th today at noon and runs through the first Monday in June. I think it's June 4th. It's a long session. We could also mention that there's a new subcommittee at the legislative level for special education. That's a brand new thing. That hasn't existed in the past.
Okay. We just heard about it.
And just, and I know Jeff is aware of this, but just the website and how we track and monitor bills as they're proposed, and it's up to you if you want us to, you put together some slides for that just to go through for everybody. And,
If you can, just take a couple of minutes and tell us that, because it was just
Yeah.
mentioned that there was a new subcommittee for special education.
yeah,
And I think because the 22nd is the legislative breakfast, we should at least go over just for a few minutes with the members on what our priorities and recommendations are for the legislators. And are there, I can kind of just scroll through if the annual report is put up, I can scroll through that and just talk about those. We can just talk about those few things, or if you prefer them to be in, shorter format of slides, but I think we should prep our members a little bit
Sure.
in case anyone has any questions, because we don't want then those questions to be brought up at the breakfast. We'd love them to be answered if someone has a question ahead of time. So would you like me to do that? As soon as we get it, I can just cut and paste it into a very ugly slide of my making.
are you, sorry, Susan, are you wanting to share the annual report in its entirety and scroll through it, or create a few slides? Sorry.
I think a few slides would probably be better with just
Okay,
the
yeah.
priorities and recommendations. Is that possible? I hate adding work to the plate.
No,
that is
no,
already
no, we
full.
could absolutely do that.
Okay, that would be amazing, because then we can really, then I feel like people will be prepped. Right?
Yeah, we've done that in the past. So we'll put together, not too many slides, but we'll try to be,
Great.
like sum up the information as best possible and hit all the high points. And then, you could pause for discussion or any questions from the full council at that point.
Great. And then can we just throw in roundtable on the agenda in case we have time?
Of course.
Okay, then I think we have an agenda. Oh, and then we need to add a membership update, Catherine, or no?
There's really nothing for membership, just a general reminder to people to encourage students to apply to join the SAC.
So that will be short too. And
Yep.
and actually, Catherine, if this is something we could bring up, since we're having such difficulty finding legislators, as a backup plan, our bylaws say that if an appointing authority fails to appoint a member to the council, we as a council can utilize a member at large to assist the council in carrying out its statutory and regulatory duties. Provided any person selected as a member at large shall have the appropriate qualifications to assist the council. And I was wondering, since we are having difficulty, if we try again to get legislators, we're unable to, can we start thinking about retired legislators or people that have those qualifications as members at large?
Brian, can we do that?
They don't have voting rights.
So, no, the at-large provision in the bylaws really is geared towards, the entities that, for example, that the commissioner appoints or the governor appoints. The legislature, it's very clear, like the different aspects of the House and the Senate need to appoint those other members. But if there are interested, they have to be active members of the legislation. So
Right.
we've had legislators attend meetings before that haven't been officially appointed. That's fine. And if people know or are interested in coming to meetings and all those different things, it's just probably not a task the membership committee would engage in. But we have at-large members now that don't have their appointment letters yet and still function. That's basically the provision there. But I don't know if you have someone in mind that's a retired legislature that could come to meetings, but we would still have those roles. I think, now that the legislature is set and, folks are settling in and things of that nature, it's a good time for us to reach out again and just let those entities know that that there are vacancies for the appointment. the governor, the governor's letters, we were able to, we could tap into that same person and let him know how much we appreciate the governor's appointments. And at the same time, however, we have these other vacancies for legislature, but it's good. It's creative thinking, Susan, too. And it's not because the membership committee isn't putting the effort in. Obviously, we know that. In my 7 years since I've been in my role, these positions have been vacant. At our max, I think we've had one official appointee with letters, so we can continue to push that. But it's but like I said, if you have or know people that are interested, they can always attend meetings and participate and contribute.
Okay, great. I'm glad
Brian,
we were-
I'm sorry, did I hear you right? It could be a retired legislature or one that doesn't serve anymore?
That wouldn't serve our vacancy. So if a retired legislature was interested in becoming a member of the council,
Yeah.
they couldn't fulfill an active legislative position.
Okay.
They could be maybe a parent or an individual, or
Okay.
they could attend our meetings as a public member in that context, attend subcommittee meetings, all those things, but they wouldn't fulfill the role because it has to be an active legislature appointed by those different entities.
Okay. Thank you for the
So-
clarification.
Brian, in the past, Jolie was kind enough to reach out to the contact person. Would it be possible for her to connect with Christine or Holly, to get that information and then they could, send it out again?
To contact the governor's point of contact.
Yeah,
We'll follow up with that
Yeah,
and
great.
just let them know. And like I said, I think now, the legislatures will be very active. So I'm not sure what type of response we'll get, but at least we know the entities are in place and, sworn in and all those things. And those that are running committees are designated to do so. We know who the co-chairs are of the special ed committee. It'd be wonderful to have, one or both of those individuals as members of the SAC. That would be ideal. But there are definitely, the legislative breakfast will help us. I think that's another jumping off point that we have to say and let people know who show up in person that have the interest. We tried to capitalize on that last year and make sure we'll just have to really make sure that they leave their the sign-in sheet and their contact information so we know who may have interest. And that could be a little pitch we make as part of our 5 or 10 minute presentation that we do before we answer questions.
Okay.
So between those two things, we'll reach out again to the governor point of contact, and then we have the legislative breakfast. I think those are your two, biggest opportunities to get somebody formally appointed.
Yeah, and maybe also they might have students that they know of. The
that's a good
legislators
point.
in their district.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like, so we're good because I feel like we're rolling into the LOB planning, but we'll just also put on the agenda just membership update and Jeff, we're just gonna put you under legislative update, but we're just gonna have you tell us that we have a meeting the next day, if you would like.
Yeah, we're having a meeting the following day.
Yeah, if that's possible. Awesome. Okay, can we move it? So we've already moved on to legislative breakfast planning. We've already talked about has anyone gotten back to Representative Comey? I'm talking like Holly Bryan and like giving her the okay, the thumbs up. To send that out there.
Yeah, so we've been back and forth with Rob, not only Representative Comey, but also Cass, her legislative aide.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we have confirmation on the room. So we actually got we wanted the email confirmation just for our own record. So we did get that. We are all set with that confirmation. And Holly, you could speak to this because we are now working on the food piece. Holly, you want to speak a little to that?
Yeah, so we got confirmation yesterday, and truthfully, I didn't know that we were the ones supposed to be giving approval for the flyer to be sent out, but I mean, it's ready to go. So we could email her back and let her know to send it out to her contacts. We can send it out to the full council for SAC and anyone else who needs it. I've contacted the catering manager yesterday just to give him a little heads up that I'll be connecting with him either today or Friday, because I didn't get a menu. I just got contact information. So we are working on it just to get everything set and ready to go. But the room is ready for us.
And I believe Representative Comey mentioned to plan for about 50 people was her kind of feedback for that, because we did need to know, how many we're expecting in order to order enough food and make sure the space is adequate. So she said about 50 is kind of her range she's thinking.
Okay,
that-
so is anybody getting back to Representative Comey as saying it's all okay, or?
Well, we're back and forth, but right now, because we
On the
need-
flyer, on the flyer. I'm
Oh,
just
on
trying
the
to get a
flyer
flyer.
itself.
She's waiting, she's waiting.
Yeah, like I just said, we will email her after this meeting because we did not realize it was up to us to give her that approval. So once
Yeah,
we
it wouldn't be up to, it would be Susan, if you're all set with it, you can let her know. I'd prefer to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just wanted to make sure, because usually I had to run it all by Jolie because
Yeah,
of
no.
formatting and things and being able to,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's not a CSDE flyer, it's
Okay.
the state advice, you all have the authority to say good to go. We did review it though, and I think it looks good. I think it's
Okay,
good to go. So
okay, I'll just send her a quick email.
yeah, so once she can start to distribute that, we can as well. Because I'd like to get that to Laura Stefan, our legislative liaison, and make sure she sends it through all her contacts.
Mhm.
And yeah, obviously the SAC too will include it as an attachment for the upcoming meeting, so people can share it with their own representatives.
Okay, so we're good to go. I mean, she's good to send it out. She most likely, hopefully she is sharing it already. So I say, yeah. All right, we'll take care of that. So I just want to know about the flyer. The food setup. What time would you like me to tell the SAC members to be there and the executive committee for the breakfast? What time is it? It starts at 11?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does start at 11. We don't know what time you would like everybody to come. We don't know when the time we'll have access to the room too. I think that's something we have to check on to see when it's available for us to even get in there ourselves to start. So Holly, that is one thing we do have to get back to probably Robin and Cass about.
I feel, and anyone tell me if they think it's different, SAC members should be there by 10:45 a.m. I'm gonna try to be there by 10:30 a.m. in case anything needs to be done, if that's possible.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then,
I'll be there at 10:30 also. I mean,
Okay.
so if anybody needs anything too, I'll be there early that
awesome.
day.
You're awesome. And then, Christine, last year, we had to cancel it last minute because of snow and ice. So someone might reach out to you that morning. If you see bad weather, just, we'll let you know, but hopefully nothing, that's why it's later this year. Hopefully it gives people enough time for delayed school, et cetera.
Yeah, and if something happens and there is a storm, we'll check the weather pattern that week and kind of be ready and prepared. But we did put the alternative date, which I think was February 26th, as the alternate. So if
Fabulous.
we do have bad weather, then we're going to just move it to the February date.
Great, great. So at that, we are going to have legislative, we're gonna have the little quick 2-pager. We should also, I believe, Brian, I believe you print out some of the actual full annual reports. And then we're gonna have the membership for legislators flyer and the membership for students flyer. Anyone else think that's good? And then 5 minutes just to say welcome. And then talk about how, if you can just come to meetings, you don't have to become a member or anything. Anyone have any other suggestions? Anything they observed last year?
Well, I think we should also let them know that we have a legislative committee and that from time to time we'll be working with the education committee and or others to pose stuff,
And you will be, Jeff, you just wear a great tie, because you're gonna say something. Wear a good Snoopy representation tie. You're going to court tie. Okay, anybody, anything else with legislative breakfast? Breakfast, coffee, treats, whatever. Okay, great. Future in-person meeting locations. What do we got? February 26th? I guess it's a no-go on the LOB. We're doing where we've met lately, right?
Holly, did she also secure the room for the 26th on the LOB?
I'll have to go check, please hold.
We might already have that room also secured, so it is a possibility. We might be able to still use it, even though it's not gonna be the breakfast, we could still have, the SAC meeting there.
Oh, we have, wait, in the room, executive dining room?
So there was whatever space they secured it. for-
No, we can't. It has to be set up for audio, visual,
Yep,
all that
we
kind of
made
stuff.
sure to tell Cass and Robin that as well, that we could, so I don't know what rooms they secured. Holly's gonna check on that one.
Yeah, because the executive dining room is not really conductive to a.
No,
SAC
yeah, it's not.
meeting.
So, so I mean, what we wanted probably do is also, if that's, not gonna work, we could think of another location to have it at, for the 26th.
Yeah, just jumping in here
looking-
real quick.
Yeah.
I don't think the LOB is available during session.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to book a room. I don't
Yeah, I
think.
know they mentioned that too, Brian. They mentioned how they're very coveted spaces,
Yeah.
once session gets going.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought we
Jake-
were suggesting close by in case we did have to do a snow date, and that was the place where we always go. Is that correct?
Go ahead, Holly. I see your hand up.
So in the email that Kes sent me with the confirmation for the LOB on the 22nd, she also sent confirmation for our snow date, which is on 2/26. And then below it, and I can forward this to you guys if you need to see it, but it also says that our full council meeting on the 26th, 10 to 2. So I'm not sure what that means. She set this up, I did not. And I'm looking at her notes and it says microphones false, digital recording false. So I'll have to double check with what all this means. If we're still able to get that room, or if you just want to cancel that and go somewhere else, you just have to let me know.
Brian?
Yeah,
I-
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
in
because it
committee
was
room.
So far in advance that we had the room.
It just
Yeah.
says location 1D, and I
So-
don't know the
Yeah, so
building
that's
enough.
that's the actual space we use.
So Brian, what
okay,
Cass did is she held the room off. She had about three other people trying to get that space, but she put a hold on it before anyone else can get it.
for
So
the
I think-
snow day. Okay.
Yeah, I think she did that well before the holidays even.
Okay,
um,
that's great.
Yeah, so if we want us to, it looks like we have the space on on February 26th there.
Yeah, I'll just have to double check because in her notes, it's sounding like you guys need audio. So I'll have to just double
Yeah.
check with that.
Yeah.
And that's if there's a snow day on the 15th.
Correct. The 22nd,
22nd.
correct. Yeah.
So the way it was working is that our snow date was also the day of full council. So snow date LOB was from 9 to 10 and then going right into full council from 10 to 2. So that's how that was operating. So she just booked it from 9 to 2.
But the executive dining room.
One location says legislative dining room for the snow date, and then location 1D for full state advisory council meeting.
Then that's awesome. We're in.
All right.
So right? So just double, triple check and then put it on the schedule and let everybody know.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. And if something comes up and it's, we get like a no, or the audio visual won't work, then we could problem solve another location to secure.
Thank you so really so much. So then April 23rd, are we correct for that? Where are we for that one?
We could be, it's up to you guys what you
Oh,
wanted.
okay. I had just thought
Yeah.
one of our last meetings we
Yeah.
had said.
I
we were
know
gonna-
there was the other option of New Haven. We talked about too. I know that was mentioned in previous meetings. So it's whatever you guys want to discuss. I know Holly checked in with Cirque. I think we're available that day. So if you guys want to talk about it and see.
I think it's please tell me if I'm in the wrong place. The CREC is kind of behind the church. We had to move for parking. Is
Yeah.
that correct? I think that is the place we kind of decided was the easiest for everybody to get to and to park.
I seem to recall that as well.
Okay. Now we
So
could go
if you-
forward and move forward, checking on space for that day.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Sure.
And the audiovisual person to set up as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's see, next, everybody, I know everyone's thinking, I gotta get outside quick because it's so beautiful out, so I'll try to finish this meeting. May Executive Committee meeting date. Only one I could find for the planning of the July retreat would be that Wednesday, May 7th. Sorry, I'm looking at January, February, March, April, May 7th. Anyone? Calendars, what does it look like for everybody? Do our executive committee meeting date? Because we could plan for the July retreat and if we have an April meeting, March, April, May. Oh, no, we're done. Backwards, Susan. Oh my gosh.
I have May open. I have May.
I have
6th.
May 7th open. Anyone else?
Sorry, I am not available from 9 to 3, but before or after I could be.
Okay. And the next week, I have, my son hopefully is graduating, so. Kidding. Okay.
And you don't have to hold off for me. I just have an in-person training all day.
Okay. All right. Can anybody else make a retreat planning time in the morning?
So that's May 7th, starting at what, 9:30 or 10? What's the,
9:30 is fine if that gives you a second to gather everything.
and then to
9:30?
10:30? 9:30 to 10:30 we should put in, or?
Yeah, 9:30 to 10:30, May 7th. If you could send that a hold, not a calendar hold, but we're gonna do it because we have to plan for that July retreat.
Yep, you got it. And we're free that day too. I just checked and Holly, am I
I'm
correct?
so
You're free?
sorry I didn't ask. So
No,
sorry.
You're okay. You're good. I quickly.
Okay.
I'm
so sorry.
I'm free that day, so we'll work on getting a calendar invite set out.
That's,
That's virtual, correct?
yeah, virtual.
Okay.
All right, so can we just quickly, before we end this meeting, action items? Jennifer, while you were not here, the Social Security Administration, I'm gonna connect you with that gentleman and you're just gonna share the information out to the SAC. That document, so that's, that's on my action item. We did the agenda, right? We're gonna talk about the legislative breakfast. I'm gonna do a special education task force update. We're gonna review the annual report and maybe a CSDE quick update on the legislative session, and then we're gonna do roundtable. That's so as soon as you guys can get into that document and type that up, that would be great. And Christine or Holly are gonna send that agenda with hopefully the minutes for approval, another copy of the link for people, because we all get confused, and the flyer to send out to our legislators, right?
Yep, you got it. I put it down.
Okay, and then I'm gonna right now reach out to Representative Comey, who's probably super busy, and just say, thank you so much, the flyer is amazing. And anybody think of any other action items?
Sorry, and I don't know if you covered it before I got on. Are you going to include in that email the same language that we did last year about how to contact your legislator and invite them?
No, but that would be wonderful, and I think I have that language,
Okay.
so I can get that to them.
Yeah, because the ask would be for everybody on the SAC to contact whoever their representative is and invite them personally.
Yeah, I believe I still have that document in my drive, and I'll put that on my thing to share with Holly and Christine to also
Okay.
include.
Thank you.
Can I also say, Susan, you also wanted to do a membership update and a legislative update, even though they were just brief blurbs at the end of the agenda.
Yeah.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you, Sean. So glad to have you back. Anything else anyone can think of? Because we've been on this for a while today, so. Anyone?
So
Holly,
not
Christine, do you have
on
any
the-
questions for us? Oh, sorry, Jeff, go ahead, what?
Well, so not on the planning, but as I was doing like my quick research here on what we were talking about the inclusion of somebody from special ed on the
Mhm.
security plan. So, the general statute that deals with the creation of the school, school security and safety committee is this section 10-222M. And so the way that this is constituted at this point, it lays out who should be on that. Shall consist of a local police officer, local first responder, teacher, administrator employed at the school, mental health professional, parent or guardian of the student enrolled in the school, and any other person the board deems necessary. Then there's also the next statute is section 10-222M. And what that provides is that the public safety Department of whatever the name, public safety, whatever,
Emergency Management and Homeland
they're
Security.
supposed to, with the local Board of Education, develop a plan on an annual basis. Or excuse me, every 3 years. And in that, what you had sent me, Susan, was the all hazard school security and safety plan standards for July 24. Now, in that, it says that there should be on the committee members shall include a local police officer, and that includes special education department representative. So it's kind of weird. So on the one hand, section 222M, it specifically says in the statute who should be on it. And that does not include the special ed rep. But also then in 222N, it says that the Board of Education and the public safety should develop this plan. And then the plan that's current as of July 24 includes in it. So it is a special ed, it says right here, special education department representative. That's included in the plan that's developed.
Right, so we need that.
And the plan is required by statute, so it's a statutory mandate to have a plan, and the plan includes the special ed rep. But it appears to me in this research that I've been doing while trying to pay attention to this committee meeting, it appears that the requirement is not in the 222M as far as being a member. So could be a difference without a distinction. You know, it's in the plan's required. But, you know, it might be better for us to have it in the statute as well.
I agree because Josh was saying, and that's his role at schools is he's on that, I believe he's in charge of the safety. He said it should be districts and like it should be each person that forms those committees should have somebody with that perspective. And I'm trying to find his wording, but
Yeah, so I'll look at this further, but I just wanted to, that's what I.
if you can find the exact, if you could just give us, is it Public Act 13-3, Section 86, Part B, or is it,
Well, the
I mean,
public.
not Public Act, sorry, statute.
Yeah, it's the statute is, the two statutes to look at are, and I'll send you guys links, 10-222M and 10-222N. 222M says who should be on it. 222N says that on a certain period of time, a plan should be developed. And then the current plan that was developed includes the special ed rep. So you have
Okay.
a mandate that a plan be developed, a plan was developed, and this plan includes the special ed rep. But also you have the statute that says who's going to be on it. Again, it might be a distinction without a difference because we do have in fact a statutorily mandated plan that includes a special ed rep. The question is, do you want to really just put some more icing on the cake and put it into the statute in addition to the plan? So let me just put this all together so everybody can look at it. Now, I just want to let you know my. quick
Thank you.
since everybody's on the call here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm always for more icing. Not always good for me, but always for more icing.
Figuratively and literally, right?
Yes, yes, not always good, but love more icing. Okay, anybody else before we adjourn this? Anything? Okay, wonderful.
Hold on, the one thing Holly had a quick question on, and it just came to me. And this might be a Brian question, but the funding or the allocation to pay for the breakfast, does that come from CSTE? And he might be busy.
Sean's, oh, here
Yeah,
he is.
Christine, I'll work with you on that.
Thank
Christine.
you. Okay,
welcome.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, great question. Okay, I would like to adjourn the meeting of the executive committee at 10:50 a.m. Anyone would like to make a motion for the adjournment?
I'll make a motion for the adjournment.
I'll
Wonderful. We are adjourned at 10:50 a.m. Thank you, everybody. I will see you next week. Reach out anytime anyone needs anything, okay?
second. Guys,
That's
great
good.
seeing
Bye,
you all.
thank
Happy
you.